Oh, hey there. Watch Saga here. Wanting to remind you that the Fashion Friday contest is still actively accepting entries until 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday, March 27th. If you think your night looks cool, send in your screenshot. I want to see it, and you could win $10 in App Store or Google Play credit. Details are in the description of the video, so check that out, and I hope you enjoy the video. Well met, Knights. Watch Saga here with another quick Knighthood guide. This time, we're talking about charms. More than just the ability to woo the local tavern wenches, charms slot into weapons and armor to give them additional special properties. There are 10 different charm types available in the game, with 5 of them going into your weapons and the other 5 going into your armor. In this video, we'll talk about how to get charms, the different types of charms, charm rarity, and some strategy on what charms to use to power your night up. Let's get started. You can collect charms by dismantling equipment you collect over your time spent in Knighthood, by purchasing them from the bazaar merchants, and occasionally as rewards from story quests or side quests. Once obtained, charms go into the inventory slot in-game, meaning they no longer take up precious backpack space. From this screen, you can double check the number of charms you have on hand, as well as the effects of all charms of that type. Keep in mind that when checking charms from inventory, those you don't have collected will be grayed out. As I mentioned earlier, there are 10 different charm types in the game. They are generally called by their shape in the community, but each shape has a corresponding bonus that it conveys, which is the actual name. Starting with the weapon charms, we have square charms, or effect charms. These give you a chance to inflict a particular status effect, burn, acid, or poison, when you perform a side or chain attack. Diamond charms, or damage charms, cause you to do more weapon damage to an enemy that has a particular status effect, burn, acid, or poison. Circle charms, also called debuff charms, give your ultimate attacks a chance to inflict the enemy with debuffs: weaken, expose, unfocus, stun, or freeze. Triangle charms, or buff charms, give your chain start attacks a chance to buff your knight with fury, protect, focus, or regenerate. Finally, the pentagon critical charms will either increase your critical chance or your critical damage multiplier on your side, your chain, or your ultimate attacks. For the armor charms, we have the bowtie charms. These are your defense charms and will either increase your total health or your total armor, respectively. Arrow charms are resist charms. These charms help you resist being either stunned, frozen, weakened, unfocused, or exposed. Alternatively, some of them will reduce the damage you take from burn, acid, or poison. Trident charms, or status charms, are offensive armor charms. They reduce the enemy resistance to status effects, or increase the damage they take from burn, acid, or poison. Hexagon-shaped charms are called hero charms. They increase the damage or healing for each of the 5 different hero classes in the game. And finally, there are X charms, or minion charms, that will increase the amount of damage or healing that minions do with their normal attacks, their critical hits, their damage powers, or their healing powers. I know this seems like a lot to keep track of, and it would be, except for, as I mentioned earlier, all of this information is available on demand in-game through the inventory tab. Just scroll down to your charms and click the little eye icon, and it'll give you the information for your charm types. Charms follow a rarity system like many other systems in the game. Higher rarity dismantling will produce higher rarity charms, but you can also travel to the Dwarven Foundry to transmute lower rarity charms into higher rarities for a price. To make a rare, you'll need 3 commons. To make an epic, you'll need 4 rares. To make a legendary, you'll need 5 epics, and to make a unique charm, you will need 6 legendaries. In addition, the gold price goes up tenfold with each increase in rarity level, going from 100 gold to transmute commons into rares, to 1,000 to 10,000, and to 100,000 gold to transmute legendary charms into uniques. Currently, increasing the rarity of your charm only increases the numbers on its effect. For example, a common bowtie armor charm increases total armor by 10%, while a unique bowtie armor charm increases total armor by 50%. With unique armor boasting 4 potential slots, you could potentially have 200% armor increase on one item. It's huge and they start to stack up real well. Finally in this video, we'll talk about charm strategy. I want to point out before I continue that these are just my opinions from the time I've spent in the game and the time I've spent on the Discord theory crafting and talking with community members. Everybody's setup is going to be different based on the way they play and the charms that they have available to them. With that being said, generally, in my opinion, you shouldn't really be worrying about charms in the early game. Most of the gear that you're getting should be going towards transmuting to higher ranks early on, but once you've got a solid good blue set of armor and blue all 9 weapon types, you can start dismantling low rarity gear and building up your charm collection. As you're playing the game, pay attention to the way that you play. If you find yourself favoring a hero that inflicts burn on enemies, look for charms that increase burn damage and the damage that you do to burning enemies. If you're tired of getting stunned right before you stop an enemy from healing, slot in resist stun charms and laugh as you crush your foes. Generally, the agreed upon best charm loadouts to have in your weapons and armor are the pentagon charms for weapons and the bowtie charms for armor. The armor increase from the bowtie charms is massive, and it affects all damage across the board, and with most gauntlets having critical chance increases built into their level up systems, being able to further modify your crit, damage, or chances through charms will make short work of all your enemies. I like to say when people ask, dead dudes don't DPS. So if you're killing your enemies before they have a chance to attack you, you don't really need to worry about status effects. But again, it's all subjective. One final note before we wrap up. Once you've put a charm into a weapon or an armor, the only way to get it back is to dismantle the item that it's in. Putting in another charm over the top of it will destroy the original charm. So make sure that when you're putting your charms in, you're going to be happy having that set up for a while. That's going to do it for our coverage of charms in Knighthood. It's a core game mechanic that can be a little confusing at times, so I hope some of this information helped clear things up for you. If this video did help you out, give us a like, and if you want to be notified when our Knighthood content drops, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.